Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to hike to Los Pinos Peak right here in Cleveland National Forest in Southern California. There's a few ways to do this. I'm going to show you definitely the easiest way, probably the most popular way. It's about a little over 5 miles round trip, about 1,500 feet of climbing. The first half is on a dirt Forest Service road and the second half is on a trail. Don't let that put you off. The views as you climb up here are beautiful. You can see everywhere from San Jacinto, San Gorgonio, Angeles National Forest, and Baldy, Camelback Mountain, of course, and then all the way down into San Diego County, into the high peaks. And on a clear day, you could see out to Catalina. So really nice views. The prominence, although not technically great, of Los Pinos Peak is practically great. It's definitely in the, I think, top 5 of the highest peaks here in the Santa Anas, but the views are spectacular. It's a fun little hike. I would definitely recommend giving it a try if you have not already. Now, if you want to do it, I have a full guide on HikingGuy.com where I'll talk about the trailhead, maps, practical, logistical types of things. There's a link to that under the video on YouTube if you're watching it there. And if you like the video, as always, if you could click the little thumbs up, it helps me out a ton. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. And without further ado, let us hike to Los Pinos Peak. All right, so the parking area is just past the Falcon Group Campground here, and it's gravel, and you're going to want to park on the side of the road. There is through traffic, so just be careful. Don't park in the middle. And then you just turn back and you start heading up Main Divide Trail, or Main Divide Truck Trail. And even though it's a trail at the beginning, it is really beautiful. You're sort of right in the middle of Cleveland National Forest, and it's lush and it's beautiful, and it definitely feels remote and rugged here. And once you come around the first bend, you're going to see Los Pinos Peak straight ahead up there. You can also see Sugarloaf right there. And then if you look around to the left, you can see Sitting Peak down there, which is another popular peak. But otherwise, we're going to keep on going uphill on the Main Divide Trail here, truck trail. And you're going to be able to see it sort of folding or unfolding in front of you and going up towards Munal Saddle, which is our next stop. Now, as you go up here, there are lots of great views. And once you come to this window, you're going to see San Jacinto, San Gorgonio over there. And it's really beautiful. It makes you kind of forget you're on a dirt road because the views are just nonstop. Now, it is uphill, and some sections are a little bit steeper, and there can be traffic on here, so be careful, but it's not too bad, not too crazy. Then you're going to get towards the top. It sort of levels out a little bit. You get more great views into the mountains. You can see Lake Elsinore. And you'll also see some little dispersed campsites that people have set up. You know, a lot of people will drive their Jeep up here and maybe camp for the night. It's a really beautiful spot. And as you continue up, it's really lush. I always like this view back down into the valley here. Something out of a postcard. Really, really lush and beautiful. At this point, the trail kind of levels out, and you're going to come up to Munal Saddle or Los Pinos Saddle. The road continues off to the right. We're not going to take that, but you can see burned pine trees here, and this is the edge of the Holy Jim fire area. And if you look to the left, you can see a pine that has survived. And from this stretch on, we're going to hike along the sort of line of where the fire stopped, the Holy Fire of 2018. But at the saddle, we're going to go through that gate and then start the single track, and we're going to start some uphill here. The first part is the worst. It's loose and steep. If you have trekking poles, it'll help here. And then after a little while, the trail still goes uphill, but it's not as loose and crazy as the last part. And eventually you're going to gain a false summit, and there's a couple of them here as we go up. And here you can really see the difference between the burn and the non-burn area. But anyway, we're going to go up here, and at this little clearing and false summit, you're going to get to a little dispersed campsite. And if you look off to the left, you can see Los Pinos Peak off in the distance. That's where we're going. And to get there, we're going to go along the spine up here, and it's going to involve some ups and downs. It's not all uphill. Before we go down, you're going to get views of Santiago Peak off to the right and kind of straight there, and we have a little bit of a downhill. And this is one of my favorite parts, where we come along this spine here and you can see the peak in the distance. Really, really beautiful. We're going to keep going on these little rollers as we go along here. There's one little last downhill as the views really open up to Santiago Peak, Chabuco Canyon over there. And once we have this little downhill, we're just going to have the final uphill to the peak, which is right here. And then once you go on the uphill, it kind of levels out and the trail continues right. We're going to look for this little turn off to the left to reach the peak area. And it's a rocky little peak. There's usually a sign up here. There's a USGS benchmark on the ground. And of course, there's the views. Here you can see the little sign. And if you look off to the west, you can see Catalina on a clear day. You can see down into San Diego, high points. There's the west. There's down there towards San Diego, and then back around towards Lake Elsinore. When you're done here, you just go back the way you came. That's the hike. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a fun little one, so give it a try if you have not already. It's a good winter hike. In the summer, it can get kind of hot here, a little brutal, but in the winter, it is a great hike. Now, again, if you want to do it, just go to HikingGuy.com. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. And if you stick around for a second, I'll show you what the hike looks like on a 3D map. All right, guys, I'll see you later. All right, so here's the hike. This is where we start. We head up Main Divide and then come over to the peak. Now, the parking is just past the Falcon Group Campground. I'm going to go up the road here. This was the parking area. And if we swing around, the trail just sort of heads back. This is the start of Main Divide, and it twists around. This is the twist where we can start to see Los Pinos Peak here. And if I angle this up, there you can see it. We can see it off in the distance. But we're going to head up along Main Divide. And this was that window right here and here, where if we swing it around, we can see San Gorgonio and San Jacinto off in the distance. Then we're going to come up to the saddle, which is right here. Main Divide Road continues off to the right, but we're going to head up the single track Los Pinos Trail from One Hall Saddle right here. And there we go. You can see we have this initial steep section right here, and then we come up to the false summit right here. And then we have a couple of little rollers. This was the section where we could see over to the summit. We have a couple of little rollers along the spine. And then eventually we have one last roller, and then we come up to the summit area. There's Catalina in the distance, and the views again are pretty spectacular. Over this way is Santiago, Chabuco Canyon, and in the ends, we just head back the way we came. And that is the hike.